Good day, Tamers. Welcome back to another good card, bad card, but this time, is it a good deck or a bad deck? And joining me again this week is co-host Replay, who is the only co-host I have before he does this whole spiel about thank you for having me back again. Replay, what deck are we going to review today?
We are talking about the red purple Imperialdramon,
Rurple.
a very fresh deck for BT20, and being close to the unification, it's both a fairly new deck for English and Japanese, which is something we've not had before.
The deck came out between the English and the Japanese metas only 4 weeks apart.
Yes, I think it was about that.
They got it at the end of January, we got it at the end of February.
Yeah, and there's a lot to it.
I believe we got fourth at Worlds as well, being a fresh deck where the other decks had a little bit of leeway and time to learn and play.
Yeah, although I think wasn't the Kazuha Loop one of them as well, or my myth.
No, it was Blue Green, I think, got first. Galaxy got second.
Right.
Normal Sakuyi got third, and then I think Rurple got fourth.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, so as a lot of people said that Sakuyi Monolith was more like anti-meta than it was the better build, but whatever works. So Rurple, my favourite deck that I've been waiting since EX3 to actually work properly, and now you come in here and tell me that it's a terrible deck.
This was your idea.
This was my idea, but you were the one who was like, people keep complaining about it. So, be as unobjective as possible, Mr. Replay, and tell us why this is a good or a bad deck, or what makes it both of those things.
Unobjective as possible. Can I just hyperbole the entire thing?
You can hyperbole the whole thing.
Yeah, deck's overpowered. It plays like 4 cards out turn, digivolves them all, and just hits my entire security while putting me on 8 memory, but it doesn't max save 1. There we go. That's the hyperbole summarization of the deck.
Oh no, your looping deck looped me, and I died because it died.
Yes.
Which is the story. There's no punishment.
Yeah. But yeah, the actual thing about the deck is 2 of the 3 level 4s let you digivolve another Digimon, while the other level 4 lets you play out a Digimon from your trash, and it just so happens that one of them lets it digivolve on play. I would say that summarizes some of the core strains of the deck that people have. I don't know if strain is the right word. It gives it a lot of consistency power once it gets going, which is an issue many purple decks have. And would you want to describe the level 5 end of that?
Absolute pure chaos. So the level 5s, and this is where I feel bad now, is Dino Beamon, and you're generally going to be using a mix of all the cards now. Dino Beam from BT16, the Partition set, has surprisingly Partition, specifically for Rurple itself. Not only does it have Partition, which is obviously a very strong and very useful keyword, it also has the lovely ability to grab a free traded Digimon card of level 5 or lower from your trash and play it, and give it the ability to swing. Now, that sounds fine, right? You get to swing a little guy. Well, that little guy you're swinging is now a 12k piercing Imperialdramon from BT20, which in itself is a very unique card that wishes to commit Harry-Carry and then become the Dragon mode it was always going to be.
I want to just extend on that a little bit. The on play of Dino B and Pyildra is you select a Digimon. It doesn't have to be the one that was played out. So you can actually select the Dino Beamon, who naturally has Raid, to get the rush and end of a turn attack. And the Pyildramon can give it 4k in piercing, making it a 12k minimum swing that can raid into something in order to try and get it deleted. Although I suppose the Pyildramon is the one that has the when it would be deleted, it can DNA effect. Oh no, it's when any of your Pyildra or Dino B can be done.
Yep.
So yeah, I think you pick Dino B just to get the raid benefit.
You do.
It's not the Pyildra.
The interesting thing about that as well is because you DNA into Dragon mode, you become a different Digimon anyway. So the piercing stat doesn't care that you survived because you're technically a new Digimon.
Yes, it will lose the rush which DNA gets anyway, and it will lose the 4K in piercing once it DNAs into level 6 dragon mode.
But at that point, you're just a giant dragon anyway. And you don't use the new dragon mode, the ace. You can't use it as like a one-off, as like a ace tech point. But as a rule, you are using the EX3 dragon mode, which is when digivolving. If DNA digivolving, your opponent chooses one of their Digimon, and you just slap the rest off the table, and then you blitz. When attacking, once per turn, this Digimon gets 2000 DP for the turn. Then you may digivolve into a Digimon with the fighter mode in your hand for its Digivolution cost, which you are now playing the newer fighter mode, which is a walking, talking floodgate, which has raid, piercing, or when digivolving, your opponents can't play Digimon or Tamers by effects until the end of their turn. Then, if Imperialdramon mode is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, trash your opponent's top security card. Then, all turns once per turn, that one Digimon that you saved on the field is now getting punted off with the rest of them, because when your opponent loses a security, remove a Digimon with the same DP or less than this current Digimon, and you are going to be a minimum of 17k most of the time. You effed up.
Is it 17k? I thought it would be 15k in that time.
Oh, it's 15k. It'll have inheritable from one of the other level 5s, which is normally 2k. And I think some of the others have a DP increase of like incrementals of 1000, but as a rule, in the normal stack,
will give you the 2k because the level 4s have an undeletion or end of turn DNA. The Dynabemon and the Dynabemon has partition, and the Imperialdramon has security tap +1. So you get 2 checks with that swing as well.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're just running through like a crazy
train. 15k, which deletes pretty much every unbuffed Digimon. There's very few that have more than 15k.
It's even popping Superior mode X7.
That is 17k. So without further, I guess no. If you were going by 17k, it would do, yes.
Yeah, so that's generally what this Digimon always sits around, is about like 17k. Very rare to go higher than that, but 17k is generally the baseline. But yeah, that one Digimon that we saved on the field a second ago is just gone. Like he was here as a joke.
Yes, it's a board wipe as it builds up its stack.
It also has
it all at end of turn.
It can do all at end of turn. It also has a very interesting option card for a cost of 3. You may play one free trait Digimon card from your trash with the play cost reduced by 5. So generally, any of your level 4s, I believe, are 5 or less. And then place this card in the battle area. And then all turns, when your opponent's security stack is removed from, you may delay. And then you may play the Dragon mode from any of your fighting modes, Digivolution cards, without paying the cost. So what you will normally do is you'll do all your checks. So you'll do your first hit, your second hit, and then you'll go, oh look, a security got removed during my second hit. I don't care about the DP anymore. And then you will just play out a Dragon mode for free. And I'm pretty sure the ace has an on play, which it does, which is delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 11,000 DP or less. Then if DA digivolving, which doesn't matter at this point, you may grab a fighter mode from hand or trash and digivolve into it, which could.
I don't think you're going to.
Could be interesting, obviously, as the one of ace for the stack, but generally as a on play, if your opponent somehow still has a Digimon on the field, maybe one of the swings for security was a security Digimon, you're like, nah, you don't deserve this anymore, and you pop another one. So, yeah, like the deck just says removal and floodgates.
Yes, and I can't save level 3s and 4s a bit earlier because I didn't know we were going to say the entirety of each card in the deck. But the level 3s are the BT16 Wormmon, who has start of main phase and on play. If it's your turn, one of your Digimon may digivolve into a level 4 Digimon card with the insect or your free trait from your trash with the Digivolution cost reduced by 1. And its inheritable is a bit unusual. It's when attacking once turn, suspend on your opponent's Digimon, which isn't that unusual for green, because this is a green-purple Digimon. It's just a bit not what you would expect from the deck.
Which makes sense if it's in the stack that you want to swing with. So you swing your level 5, you suspend something for your raiding Digimon later.
Yes, and I've not checked the eggs for this deck, or haven't got them brought up at least. But it digivolves off Minomon for 0 cost, or 1 for red or blue Digivolution. So I'm assuming it's either running a Minomon or a red egg in this
You
deck.
run the promo minimum normally. So you do the whole, I think it's trash 1 to delete a floodgate Digimon normally.
Right.
So it would be, if you give me 1 second, Minomon. And it is the new purple boy, which is when attacking your turn, if this Digimon is multicolored by trashing 1 card in hand, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon.
Yeah. Fine. Gets rid of the floodgates, like you said.
And the
next is the EX3 Wormmon, EX300055. he is just an on-play reveal 3 cards. You add a purple or red free trait Digimon or card of Imperialdramon in its name to your hand, and then you trash one of them as well. The other goes to the bottom of your deck, which is a very unusual effect. Normally you just trash everything else, but that is how it's printed. So you trash a card, you add a card, and then put the other to the bottom, using all of your zones. And the inheritable is when you have red Digimon play, it gets retaliation, which I can't imagine is relevant in this deck a lot of the time unless you're struggling.
I mean, it just lets you crash that level 5 into one of your opponent's big Digimon that they thought they were safe with. And he's like, nope, retaliation, bye-bye.
Yeah, true. Good for that. You're right.
Take me out, I'll take you out.
And then there's 2 different VMon. One is the new BT20 VMon, which is just your turn when any of your purple Digimon are played. This Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with the free trait in hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 1. And its inheritable is you just gain 2000 DP, which is where
Which is pretty
one
solid.
of the ways Fighter Mode gets its DP from.
It's a pretty solid effect, really, for the deck.
Yes, it is a mono red card, but it Digivolves off red or purple.
And then there's the other one from EX3, which is on play. You may trash 1 card with the Imperialdramon or the free trait in hand to draw 2. And then the effect from Inherited is your turn, or you have a purple Digimon in play. This Digimon gains another 2000 DP.
Yes. And he's red himself, but he Digivolves off red and purple.
Which is what the minimum is so good for this deck. I also believe that the other one does Digivolve from red and purple as well. It does. With the new key card symbol.
The newer layout. We have not had a newer layout, the reprint of EX3 VMon yet, as far as I'm aware.
I think it did get a reprint, but I think it was for the old version where it was like was it the RP set where it was like, oh no, all these cards are misworded somehow.
Possibly actually.
Because I know the Imperialdramon
It's EX3, so that narrows it down to about half the set.
Yeah, half the set did get like a reprint for the everything's a common again.
Yep. Do you like your super rares? Well, they're pennies now.
There are pennies now. But we did get the EX1 Magenta as a common card now, so it's also fine.
But we also got lovely Alt Art as a pre-release promo. Well, a release event promo.
Oh, you and your Gen Imperialmon.
Geen, give us back Geen.
Your Geen.
We need to officially write all green mentions to Geen.
As you also may see from a video, past tense at this point, Analog Youth is also very good in this deck because if you just so happen to fall over, Analog Youth just says, hey, do you want some memory?
Yes, do you want some memory and some rays? Oh, you do? Here you go. Only costs 2 to play. Funny enough, that is the only Tamer you play in this deck as well, as far as I'm aware. You probably can get away with Daiken.
Yeah, you can play Daiken if you want to. I think a lot of people are using BT1 tie as well because you're generally having access to the extra security swing.
Oh, and you're getting the extra.
And it's also a memory setter.
Because you do 2 checks with your first stack, but if you make it 3, then you only need to get 1 more stack through.
And generally, with your first stack, you go baby, 2 rookies, 2 level 4, so you're already at 5 when you get to your level 5. So that also activates there. So you're generally doing a minimum of 2 swings into 3 swings, and it's just like, oh look, it's my turn again, and I have a Digimon that I can go up into to make rush again.
Yeah, true. We've reached a point in the game where you can prop BT1 tie on level 5s. We probably could have done that a long time ago, and I just never thought about it.
Yeah, I think you could have done it as of BT16, but just there was no.
We probably could have done it since DNA, to be honest. Like just since DNA existed.
Yeah, but I think BT16 was probably like the first in brackets real DNA. The other one would be like Chimeramon, but you're not going to running like a Chimeramon specifically deck for tie, are you?
Yeah, true.
But yeah, so I think like BT16 was probably the first time where it was probably doable and okay to do it.
And we need to see level 4s what their effects are. There's essentially only 2 different ones, even though there's 3 Digimon. There's the one everyone knows about, the promo Shadramon. He is spiked up in price, being a 1 per box promo, as in the 1 in 6 boxes promo, because you get 1 of the 6.
But he is also in EP brackets 8. So
yes.
that will be the pricing for some people. And after recording this was done a while ago before this goes out. We did see someone from, I believe it was the Holland event, have a lot of those in hand, and there was some information about it may or may not have been pinched, or they may or may not have just traded for all of them.
I saw that picture. I don't know like how it was.
Yeah, we couldn't really get any true information on that. But yeah, it was very
strange
they had so many.
They are in the event packs that are currently running. There's only 7 cards in the set, so between that and Pros Form, you have a pretty good shot at hitting something decent.
Not me though. I'm getting that 1 card no one wants again, whichever it is in this set.
I'm amazed that in like 30 event pack 7s, I didn't get a single one of the hybrid option card. I dodged that so much.
I got
I've had
really lucky. I think every single rotation I got at least one of everything other than a proto form, and then I think I got like reprints of the Systemon. That was like my only
yeah.
like double up.
I got 5 of both Systemons, 6 Defects, and 2 Protoforms, and then the others are just kind of mixed together. Like, I don't quite remember. The only thing I know is I did not get a copy of the hybrid option. That is the one card I did not get. I dodged it every time.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough bragging about that. The promo Shadramon is being reprinted, and we are not sure currently if it's lasting 4 months or the entire tournament cycle. Everything else seems to be lasting just 4 months for like season 1 and season 2, but the special event pack does not mention season in its name, so we can't really tell until we get into
information
August,
is loose at best. Yeah.
It feels like a small event pack for them to only give it out for 4 months, but at the same time, there's good cards in there. So if that's how it is, that's how it is. But the card itself is it digivolves for 2 off Wormmon, or it costs 3 off a red or purple Digimon. So the Vmons are both reds. It can digivolve them, no problem. And it is when digivolving, you may play 1 Vmon or Wormmon from your trash suspended without paying the cost. Which, if it is the Wormmon, it can then immediately digivolve, and you're having a good time. And then on deletion, inheritable to play a Vmon or Wormmon from your hand suspended without paying the cost as well, which can just help you combo out a little bit more from there if you lose your stack mid-swing. And the other level 4s. So that was just to mention specifically. That was the P10. Is it 10? Yes, P110.
That is your main 4 of in this deck. The others will generally run of either 2 or 3 of per. Down to how you feel. A lot of people run 10 of the level 4s because this deck does just churn out bodies.
Yes. Yeah,
and
it uses its trash very well, being a purple deck.
It does very well. And you have the Chargemon from EX3, which is just a pure purple Digimon. Back before 2 colours was every single card in the game. Play cost of 5. Digivolves for 2 from both a purple or a red Digimon. And then when digivolving, activate one of the following effects. You may digivolve one of your other Digimon into a red level 4 Digimon card with the free trait from the trash for no cost. Sorry, for the cost. Don't lie to everyone. Or you may DNA this Digimon with one of your other Digimon in your hand for the cost.
Yes, so they can actually DNA with just themselves from the hand if you want. If you couldn't even get the card on board to do it.
It's very good. At the end of your turn, you may just DNA, which this deck wants to do.
Yeah, as the inheritable, that is.
I mean, to be fair, this deck has 3 different ways to DNA Digivolve. You can have this one. You can have the effects of the new Imperialdramon and the effect of the new Dino B, I believe. I think they both say if we get fallen over at some point, you can just DNA Digivolve us.
Yes, both the new Imperialdramon and the new Dino B say it, although you're generally using BT16 Dino B, not BT20.
Yeah, you play it as like a one-off, just so you got an extra name. But yeah, the rule is you're going to be doing 4-4 and then 1-on-1.
Yeah. Just to specify in the Flamedramon and Shadramon, the EX3 copies, the Flamedramon is red and it only lets you digivolve a purple Digimon with the when digivolving, and the Shadramon is a purple Digimon that only lets you digivolve a red Digimon when digivolving.
Yes.
It's not. They are color restricted.
Yeah, the idea is that you're basically playing the other form.
Yes, you can't go from one Shadramon into another Shadramon into another Shadramon into another Shadramon.
Well, you can. It's just the promo Shadramon.
With the promo one, yes.
And that's where the deck got a bit more looser on its level 4s. It's like, oh man, it sucks that I've only got the same colour in my hand. Wait, it's the other Shadramon!
That is true.
It's pretty good
when
when
it
happens.
Both, because the promo Shadramon is red and purple.
It does. That's why the deck got its first little push for being a good deck, back when EX3 was basically needing support for it. And then we got BT16, and we got the new Dino B and the new Wormmon. It's like, you know what, shaping up. And then BT20 came out, and it's like, damn, son.
It just keeps on
the
going.
Deck's good.
Yeah,
now, all we need now is an evil Kenneth and a very naughty Daisuke.
The red-purple version of Daiken. It's just the same card, except it works on red and purple.
Kenvis. There you go. Kenvis is the red-purple version.
Let the entire deck just play its go into its stack just because they have a Daiken. Yeah, it's just red purple Daiken. He just plays it from trash instead of hand.
Yeah, I
there
mean,
you go. Play out Wormmon, get your entire stack.
I mean, everyone's concerned if they can't do anything with their stack and their rookies die, right? Well, in this case, you want them to die. Please delete my rookies. So
Yeah.
yeah, if we ever do get a evil version of the Tamers, then God save our soul.
Yeah, we'll see. Who knows what they have planned for the deck in the future now. And cards that we think should be hit, that's what we're talking about. 'Cause
No,
it's clearly a
they're
good
all
deck.
perfect.
Even though we've not had many events, it's clearly a good deck.
It's very fair. It only got fourth at Worlds. It's not a very good deck. If it got top three, maybe, but it's only got fourth.
True. That it went from what the top. I can't remember how many people played at Worlds. Was it 12 again this year, or was it
16
more?
this year.
16.
16.
Yeah,
So
it
it
only
was
got
16
top
A.
25%. Like, if
Yeah.
it got into the top 19-ish percent, then sure, it's a different story.
So to be fair, I think
Yeah.
a lot of people thought it was going to beat the blue-green Imperial, and I think it lost in its third game.
Right. I didn't actually watch the games, but sometimes decks just brick. The game has reached a point, I think, over a year ago where every deck can win. It's just some decks do it better than others.
Yeah. Well, all the good decks anyway.
Yeah. Like, I mean, hell, Leviamon is still a deck, and it won Worlds last year.
They didn't.
Oh, no, it got a second, didn't it? It lost to Setcom because of time rules.
Everything loses to Zekcon. Which I'm pretty
They
sure is
changed
the
rules.
reason why Sakurimon went this year. It was like fake Zekcon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had changed the end of term procedure or end the time procedure for Worlds this year because of it. Can't quite remember. They showed like a graphic about it at the start of the stream, and I stopped watching.
What have you learned? Nothing. Stop showing me things.
But yes. What cards per se, if they were to hit this deck, would you want to be hit?
None of them. None of them are too good.
What's your favourite deck, Mr. Agito?
My rule with decks that are good that you need to limit because it's a little bit too pushed, a little bit too powerful is you need to then make a card to replace that card in the first place.
Except this deck's on its like third set of support.
It's
so
on its fourth set of
have
support, and it's just only getting into that point where it's actually got a good deck going. And that's the issue. It's got four sets of support, and now it's finally good.
Yeah. Well,
whereas like
I'm gonna barge in and say that
Imperial's been good for ages.
Green blue has been very good for a while. Yes. Personally, having looked at all the cards, I've not played into this deck much yet because we are still early in the format, and there's not actually been many big tournaments yet.
And neither of us have gone to any of the tournaments, so.
Yes, but Dino Beam on BT16 looks like the biggest contender to be hit for me. There is still another one in BT20 that they could use instead.
There is.
And the Dino Beam on in BT16 is what's letting it do a lot of its end of turn push from the looks of it.
The issue I have with this is it's essentially the same card as Imperialdramon. He technically gets to swing twice because you get to swing with this body and the other body. But
I guess if you're attacking,
because you will attack because you got your DNA in, so you can attack even if you had nothing.
I just assumed that you only attack with one level 5 because you digivolve into Dino.
The other one doesn't care which one dies. It's just if any of your Digimon go, oh no, I'm falling over, so you can attack with both.
Right.
So if you attack with the first one and nobody dies, oh man, it sucks. If you attack with the second one and then it dies, you go, oh man, that even sucks even more. Anyway, DNA. So yeah, the whole deck just swings. It's very aggressive. But it's very similar to the blue-green Peldra. You know, that gets to swing twice. That has jamming. The only thing it really gets to die to is an option security. Oh no, partition, which is basically the same thing here. Except in this case, you don't want to go backwards. You want to go forwards.
It is the deck's only source of partition. Looking at it, like there is no other partition inheritable level 5. So take that out if the Dino Bee was also hit. Although I don't know how much it needs it of how much it can play from trash anyway.
It's fairly safe in terms of like if you take it out, it doesn't just instantly cripple the deck. It's just a very annoying part of the deck that gets taken away.
Yeah, like I said, I've not played into deck too much. I don't know how good or bad it is. A lot of decks can look very good on paper and turn out to be a bit bad. But from the seams of it, this is going to be a very high contender deck.
Yeah, I think it'll either be the promo that gets hit because it's very good, either on deletion or when being digivolving, which you can just do from playing out the Wormmon to then digivolve back into this again from the trash, or it will be the BT16 Peldra because it's been Dino because it's been going around for too long.
Yeah, which also, to be fair, it's nice to see Dino Bee be the key card instead of Pyldra for a change.
It is. I mean, there's been a few decent Dino B cards in the last couple of sets that has been available. But yeah, this one is absolutely cooking.
But yeah, that's my personal takeaway looking at deck. I think if they were to hit the deck, and again, I've not played into it enough to know how good or bad it is directly.
The deck
I would say
itself
the
would
Dynasty
be
looks
you
like a
either hit the
contender.
Wormmon because obviously the recursion of basically just looping yourself from being deleted would be the biggest stopper. Either the promo because the promo is just very efficient, or
Yeah,
you hit BT16 Dino B because that one at least can be replaced by something else easily enough. Whereas the promo basically is the main level 4, and it's kind of awkward if you do move that out.
yeah, the main reason I'm looking at Dynasty is because it lets them keep going after turns passed, whereas the Wormmon and the promo, at least if the turns passed, they're out of steam because they don't. Well, they only have one end of turn DNA, and it's the inheritable on level 4s. So they may be able to then digivolve or DNA digivolve it into a level 5, but unlike blue green, it has no memory gain. So it would go into level 5 and then stop
So
if they've passed turn.
since you don't finish your end of turn procedures until everything is finished, you are undeleted. You get deleted. You play out a Wormmon. Wormmon digivolves up into the Shardra promo. Shardra promo lets you play out another Wormmon that can play from trash. That then plays one of the DNA digivolving ones from trash. You get to DNA digivolve, go up into the BT16. 16 plays out another one. 16.
Assuming BT16 is still around.
No, it's in the trash.
I mean, like, assuming it's not a card that wasn't hit.
Yeah. So, like that's how you get to loop it, and then you go play something else for free. That gets to swing. That swings and dies. Get to DNA digivolve. Get to blitz. Go into level.
Yeah, that's the full combo, which is why I think
That's why you can do it
BT16
twice in a turn. It's just like oh no. That's what I'm saying. It's probably going to be the promo's going to be the go. The Wormmon's probably the easiest one to get rid of because if you get rid of that one, the deck still has other competent level 3s that aren't going to like oh no the deck is dead.
It definitely slows the deck down if the Wormmon's hit, and I don't dispute the Wormmon being hit. I think if they were to hit one card, I think the Dyna B is the best one to hurt the deck overall. But I could see the argument for Shadramon and Wormmon being hit as well. My only issue with Shadramon is like you're then kind of just in games where if you find it, you just have it forever because of the way the deck works.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'll just go into Worm or play out Wormmon then.
So what we're hearing really is it's actually Wormmon is the issue. So Wormmon, Shardra, and Dino B. That's where it is.
That's the free cards to look at. I would like Dino B to be hit the most, at least initially.
I mean,
some
luckily
decks
to be
maybe
fair,
one hit is fine.
the new option card isn't as egregious as.
Yeah, the option card's actually not like it's a frustrating card by looks of it.
If we ever get if we ever get a Dragon mode that just wants to be unplayed, then that's where you're gonna have an issue. But currently, both of them don't really care to be unplayed. Obviously, you get deletion from one of them, but at that point, you've already wiped the board anyway.
Yeah, like the ace, it's fine, but then you've left an ace on board, and then the other one just doesn't have a when attacking or when digivolving. It only has a when. No, it has a when digivolving, but it does not have an on play, and it does not have, and it has a when attacking.
Mm-hmm.
But you're probably either on your opponent's turn when you're playing out the level 6 from the option, or your past turn. So I don't think it's that bad.
No, I don't think
it does let you just play a free trait from your trash, which can get you going again.
Yeah.
I assume in most cases you'd go Wormmon play to then digivolve into Shadramon from the trash to then play out another Digimon.
Yeah, you basically just rebuild the stack again because the stack goes into trash. You do all your undeletion effects, then you get to trigger all your on-play effects because it's still your turn, and then you basically just go up again into your Rurple. And that's the deck. Yeah, so it has taken a long time to get here. The deck is fairly consistent and fairly good. I don't think it is going to be like the best deck or the second best deck, but it will be a very good contender for the rest of the year, and until it probably takes a hit, which if it does take a hit, it won't be till the end of this rotated year. I feel like 2026 is probably the time they'll do it. I don't think the next ban list in September will be the time they want to hit it, to be fair.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope they do ban this more regularly now. But they probably won't. They'll probably will still be out every 6 months.
I see. When I did my prediction video, I did say it'd be really good if they did like at the end of every season or the start of every season.
There's kind of like 2 sets. So if you look at it, like there's an EX set, a BT set for most of the year, and then a month break. It'd be nice if we got one after like at each break.
I think that's too early because generally, if you know,
I'm not saying they had to hit the cards in those sets.
no, obviously not. But it's like if you go like, oh, I'm playing a deck from like BT20, and they're going to hit a deck. They're going to hit that deck in BT22. That looks like you're just making it so I have to buy a new product.
Maybe, but at that point they're like 4 sets later because we are just getting an EX set and the BT set back to back for the whole year.
Yeah, but it's like
They've
for us it's BT20, so
schedule.
it was February. Then we get to BT22 in July. So in 5 months, it's like, okay, I've had a little bit of play time. I'm getting new support in BT22, but then I'm going to hit that deck anyway. So what's the point? Look at you, Chronicles.
I'm can
But I
do.
think
It's
every
like it's up
4
to them a
months would
little
be a
bit.
good time. So you go like, obviously we've had one now for the start of the season. Then maybe we have one at the end of the season, so like August/September. Then you have one for finals. So that's your 2 for the year, and then you have again one at the start of the
I
year.
guess so. It would have to be probably just after finals if they did it that way.
Well, if you
And
do,
then there's essentially a world's ban list.
because I think December is like the last tournament stuff, and then we do January. So if you basically do the last tournament of the season, which is like, let's say December 12th, 13th, whatever, like the last Sunday is, and then you go the following Friday we release a ban list. So let's say the week before Christmas, and then the next sort of round of finals will be like mid-January. So you get like a whole month to go. Like, okay, this deck is now no longer viable. I got 4 weeks to like practice, which I think is a long
Maybe
enough
I'm
time to
just
practice.
yeah, I'm just checking. Yeah, last event, the last regionals were like in December. The championship finals are in January. Like they could do it, but I think having no major events between the ban list and the championships is a bit rough.
It is, but I think you need to have a little break because you don't want to go. All right, here's the championships. All right, now there's a ban list before Worlds. It's like, okay, I have like 6 weeks to play the most important tournament of the year, and I don't have enough time to play. If
Maybe, but
if I
that's
go
like
from
16
December to
people. They
March,
can
that's
deal with
3 months to play. 'Cause
Yeah, but then
you got to
instead
learn.
you're just saying you have till December to January to do the championships. Remember,
Yeah,
Worlds is important, but there's only 16 people who go.
there are, but that's the most important 16 people of the Digimon card game though, at that for that year.
I'm offended. How dare you not say
Get
I'm
to
one of them?
Worlds then.
Trying. I need to qualify for the regionals first, but they haven't done the online ones.
As of recording this, so we've had no announcements of online tournaments. If there is some, obviously by the time this goes out, then that's different. But no, as of now, we're still waiting for something
Yeah,
online.
not yet. And I couldn't afford to go to Glasgow.
I could afford to. I just didn't really want to.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. I can afford to, but I didn't really want to spend that much going.
No, I'd rather like sit back, enjoy like the quiet period between like now and like the new year technically, and then after BT21, I think I'll look at traveling. We're gonna do Birmingham.
Yeah, our plan is to do Birmingham.
Sorry,
Assuming it happens. Not technically announced yet.
we're
We're
going to
assuming
do
it is.
Schrodinger's Digimon Regional, which should be the NEC. But as of now, of the 21st of March, it has not officially been announced.
It's not been announced. It just so
Even
happens that
though,
the TO who runs it every year is there and has announced other events.
yeah, as a rule, yes, I do occasionally work for OPE. They tell me nothing, so that way I can't spoil anything for you guys or accidentally blab about it on these things. So, as of now, we presume, because I've been saying this to Adam for months, I presume there's an event going on, but there's no official announcement. So, yeah, Schrodinger's
yet.
regional.
I was half expecting a load of event announcements today, actually, on their Friday post.
No, because they're
but...
super busy, because obviously it's their regional weekend. They are
No,
literally...
not them. I mean, like, from Bandai themselves. Like, I was expecting,
No.
like, another wave of
I would think
announcements.
once they finish doing the current stuff, they'll probably announce the next stuff.
Maybe, because the store regionals, like, stores have been starting to be informed if they have or haven't got
Every
them.
store
I don't know.
knows now if they've got one or haven't, who's applied
Yeah,
for it.
so I would have thought at least that list would have gone up.
Yeah, so, maybe. As far as I'm aware, no one in the UK has actually announced that they've got it yet.
Not yet, but I don't know how far each some of the
But
stores
I
have.
do know the ones who haven't got it have already said they haven't got it.
Right.
So it's a case
I never
of like...
thought there was going to be many per country anyway.
I've,
Like the store regionals was only ever going to be like 2 or 3 for the entire year.
I think it's like one per
Europe.
country. You'll have like one
Yeah, I
store in
can
the
see
UK, one store in France, one store in Italy, one store in Germany, maybe
Yeah,
one in
probably
Portugal.
one in this cycle, one in the next cycle.
Yeah.
It's like that's what I was expecting because even North America didn't get many last year, all things considered. And of course, if you're not in North America or EU, these aren't relevant at all.
Yeah.
But you also don't need to qualify for your championship, so not as important either.
Yeah.
As in the store regionals are not as important.
I mean, at least for us, it's a case of like having the opportunity to maybe go to a store and get one, and then obviously having a chance to go and to do a couple of regionals to get the chance, and then maybe getting a couple of online events to get the chance. And if the people
I
who
have
are
top
winning,
16 yeah, I realised I have top 16 the regional every year that the game's been out, so
there you
in
go, there's a
theory I
chance.
can do it again
There's
if
a
we
chance,
get events.
and also if you come 17th, but there's like 4 people in front of you who already won a tournament this year, you'll get your
Yeah.
place, sir. At least they're gonna.
That's why it's better to go into later ones if you're picking sometimes.
Yeah,
Just
at least they've
because it
announced
might
that
be-
basically unlike other ones for I think America, they did it a couple of years ago. They said like, no, if you don't get like what top four of it was, you're not going to get position. But it's like I think it was like 2 or 3 tournaments in a row where the same top four people got the wins. It's like if you've got 12 positions and somebody's filled it 3 times, that's not 12 positions. That's just 4 positions.
Yeah. And we'll see how many they do, because last year they only gave out like 380 odd invites to the championships.
Americans hated it. Americans absolutely hated it. They said it.
Yeah, because they were used to having over 1,000 invites, so they really cut it down.
But as far as I'm aware, I believe One Piece was absolutely huge last year because they did that for One Piece.
I'm not sure about the American One Piece. I only know about Digimon.
European One Piece was also massive, to be fair.
Yeah, European One Piece was like over 2,200 people.
It was essentially a whole one side of the tournament area and then crypt over to the Digimon area. And there was one table for like BBS, and there was like 5 tables for like Dragon Ball.
Yeah, but to be fair, Digimon had over 700 people in Europe.
Yeah, we nearly filled out. It was really good.
Yeah.
Double in America. I know they didn't really get a choice, but doubled America.
Yeah, America's just didn't have a choice. So people are like, oh, so few people. It's like, well, they only invited like 380 odd people, and some couldn't make it, so there just weren't many people.
Yeah, apparently a lot of people did say like, look, I'm not going to go if it's like 300 people.
I mean, it makes the participation stuff worth more, I guess.
It does. It's also very expensive to travel in America, so I can understand why people are like, I'm not spending like $2,000 to go there.
Was it really that much? Jeez.
It depends where you lived, because it was California, and it's one of those events where you have to be by the venue, and all the venue bits were bought out. So it's like a 3-day stay was like $1,000.
Because I can't quite remember the European ones, but it was about £400 odd in the end.
I don't know if it's because of where we stayed this year, but like the year before, I found it to be super cheap.
Yeah, I've never found it to be that expensive.
Because we both stayed at the hostel, and I don't know how much you spent for yours. I think I spent £60 or like £58 for the 3 nights we were there.
Oh yeah, because I split the room. No, I split the room with you for Netherlands. We were there together.
Not the first one.
Oh no, not the first one. No. Yeah, I can't remember how much it was. But
it was super cheap
for me once I split.
Yeah, it was super cheap. It was more expensive to buy food there than it was to stay there for the weekend.
Yeah, that burger place was great.
Yeah, it was great. I'd go again. Yeah. But yeah, I think obviously as things get more bigger and better, as they say, things will be pricing upwards, and I think
I do think they're backloading a lot of the tournaments for this cycle. They're like putting a lot of the IRL events at the front, so people go
which I think they should.
And,
I always think that the in real stuff should be, especially now that we're past the big C. We should be putting more things into real life, because that's how you kind of like advertise yourself. Like, oh, look, we're having these massive events, come down, have fun.
Yeah, I also think they should do online events as well, because it creates accessibility.
I would like to have like one randomly placed in between like a cycle, and then maybe towards the end of them, like that slightly go like, here's like 5 or 6 events for online.
Like I'm hoping because you also have to remember that the tournament cycle is different this year, because before it was 2 months regional, 2 months Ultimate Cup, 2 months regional.
Not anymore. What have they done replay?
Now it's What was that? Sorry.
So what have they done replay?
They've made it just a 4-month cycle with Ultimate Cups as side events, and the Ultimate Cups are now only in person for everywhere outside of NA. NA has had the only online event announced so far, and it's an Ultimate Cup.
I can't believe they're taking away my ugly Bialzimon alt art.
That's true. They've gotten rid of the old 3v3 for a new one, which it was time they replaced it. To be fair,
it was, because it's been going for like 2 years now.
Yeah, it went for 2 years, which is unusual for us. Because in Japan, they tend to keep pricing around for quite a while. They might start a new pricing cycle, but they'll still use the old one sometimes.
But now we've got trash cards that no one wants instead.
I mean, the Ultimate Cups never did amazing, but part of that was because of their format. Like, everyone really liked the first 2 because they were Adventure and O2 series, and then Tamers was good as well. And then it's like, oh, you're past the fan favourite series, and all the cards are red now.
I think it's just because it's the bad version of Shoutmon as well. That doesn't help.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's only. I mean, those cards are going to be rare.
They will be rare, but it's like it's nice to have upgraded foils and upgraded artworks for cards that are good. But it's like here's like arguably 3 bad cards that we're going to give you alternate arts for, and it's like, why? They are bad cards.
They did the best they could. I can't remember. It's out one now, so I guess it's Ghost Game next. So I could just do all 3 versions of.
Could be Atmon next.
What one?
Atmon.
Oh yeah, that is a thing in the game.
They are officially a Digimon thing now. So all you people out there were like, nah, man, we don't even recognise it. You got to recognise it now.
Early re-release actually. They can put in the secret rare as the first place cards. The mid-place card as the
A chase,
level 6.
chase Gaiamon, yeah?
Yeah, that could be spicy as a start. And then I assume they're just going to do the 3 artworks of Gammamon for the first one next year. And then maybe we'll get some variety and not just protagonist.
Maybe. As much as I don't really care for a lot of the duo-agonists because they aren't very interestingly written because that's how anime works most of the time, I would like to see maybe Ken get more support. Fuck TK, he ain't getting nothing from me. Maybe we get some more love for Mr. Ishida, which I don't care for either, but Catherine loves Gurumon and Matt, so that's fine. And then for Tamers is really weird because Beelzemon is technically the secondary character in my opinion because the other two suck.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to them how they do it.
Yeah, it is. It just seems
It'd
really
be,
strange
it's nice
how.
to not be protagonist. It'll be nice to not be red all the time.
Well, the issue we do have with that as well is when we get to Gen 5, Mirage is fucking the second guy.
They'll put more.
We just limited that guy. Let's not bring him back already, yeah?
Yeah, they like printing cards for him. He has for being like the not protagonist, but like the one like the second into him. That's had a lot of support. Like a lot of these secondary supports don't get as much. Like Ken gets a lot indirectly because it's DNA based off the Veemon line, so he gets a lot.
Yeah, he gets like basically like the shadow. And to be fair, a lot of the cards in the last few rotations have been pretty good. To be fair, like I can't complain. They're good in both a DNA deck or they're good in both an insect deck. To be fair, so they've done well there.
Yeah.
But besides this episode being no longer Rurple, I think we've talked it out now that the issue is Wormmon and his evolutions. So if you got to ban something, ban Wormmon.
Yeah, Wormmon or Dino B.
And the fun thing about this is as well, as of what we know right now, is with hacker memory, so BT23, we know we're going to get at least one more Wormmon.
True, Wormmon was a part of that. Although I imagine that will be separate to the DNA line.
Yeah, he'll just be a Wormmon, but if he's a good Wormmon, it's still good.
Yeah, it could be.
He's a black Wormmon.
I imagine if it's a secret rare Wormmon.
As long as it's good, I don't really mind what cards are secret rares as long as they are worthy of a secret rare.
No, the secret rare is just going to be the spoiler for the end game for the hacker's memory.
The game's been out for like 8 years at this point. You're only 40 you haven't played it.
No, I'm saying spoiler because I can't remember the name and I was just trying to cover it up.
It's just Wormmon. Oh, what do you mean the bad
guy?
No,
the Digivolution he gets. Oh, it's just Hoodiemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hoodiemon will be the secret rare.
That's what everyone's going about the other day. He's like, when are we going to get Hoodiemon? So chill out.
Yeah, it's just the secret rare is going to be Hoodiemon, and it's going to be like Nene, where like no one uses it.
Let me whip, let me Nene. Yeah, I mean, it only works in specifically that deck, and that deck just is not good.
No, it's true.
But I'm looking at the time. This is a 42-minute video. I'm sure Replay wants to actually have a day to himself for a change rather than doing 2 days with me. So I'm going to let him go. Thank you for being here, Tamers, because if we don't, we'll just do a podcast again, and this is meant to be a good deck, bad deck video. So we'll see you guys.
For like half the time.
Half of the episode is only just, a bit of rambling. But thank you for being here. We do appreciate it, and hopefully you guys actually do enjoy us just chatting, as I say, the shit, because we enjoy it, and we're only doing this really because we enjoy Digimon.
Yeah, I like to talk about the game, so I find time to talk about it.
There you go. We always appreciate it. Thank you very much, Replay. We'll see you next time. And again, he's my full-time co-host. Don't listen about this. Thank you for having me back again. He's always here.
You can replace me very easily. You could ask anyone else and just not invite me, and then boom, I'm replaced.
I will just try and get like a guest in occasionally, especially if you're busy. But if I can get like a third person, we just do a freeway conversation about how you two are wrong. It'd be fine with me.
Just us two arguing against each other. Yeah, you're just here like.
And our third guest going like, guys, you're both wrong. It's like, no, shush.
Right.
Opinions don't matter, remember. So, mwah! See you guys soon for another episode of Good Card, Bad Card.
All right, for now.